Kelvin, I'm not going to ask where the belt is, but what I am going to ask is, did you had any idea it was going to go that crazy when you came out of Melbourne with the title around your shoulder?
Come on, man. You got to think these things through. Of course I did.
It was. What did you make of the reaction? Because a lot of people were like, get that thing off your shoulder, and then other people giving you credit for, look, you got to get your name out there. So what did you make of the reaction, and what was the decision behind it all, and all that sort of stuff?
It was just I just wanted to make some noise, man. I just didn't want to stand back and kind of let nature take its course. I wanted to kind of make my own kind of noise, and I felt like if I wouldn't have done that, I definitely would have gone skipped over this title shot.
And there you go, you're vindicated because now here you are fighting for that title. I remember seeing you in Melbourne, you were pretty obviously upset, and I think that's understandable. But I want to just go back there for one day because I don't think people can really appreciate. You woke up that morning, or before you were woken up, you went to bed thinking, tomorrow night I'm going to be holding the world title. I've been chasing it my whole career. Like, how much of a kick in the nuts is that to just actually, no, you're not?
Yeah, it's a big kick in the nuts for me to be told that, man. It was devastating to say the least. It was a gut blow, and it was pretty hard for me to kind of get over it. Even now, I'm still kind of bitter about it. Like, man, it was.
It's a long flight down there.
It's a long flight. Like, I had a long camp, specifically that camp. Like, it's been probably one of the hardest and longest camps that I had ever in my career. So, man, all that time, all the energies, all your thoughts, all your work, kind of thrown out the window in some way. I don't necessarily like to think that, but in some way, that's kind of what happened.
Is it hard not to be a bit bitter towards Rob himself? I know it's not his fault, but is it hard not to, like, he's the figure of resentment?
Honestly, I don't have anything resentment towards Rob. You just kind of learn to deal with these things. You adapt and kind of keep moving forward. I don't feel like I deserve anything in this world, so I just kind of roll and adapt and roll with the punches that life throws at me.
There is, though, I think, maybe a silver lining in this. You're going to fight for the title, but now, should you beat Israel, you'll fight for the title with an interim belt, so there's pay-per-view points now.
Sure.
So is there maybe a silver lining that actually you're getting...
Yeah. I mean, if you think about the business aspect of it, yeah. You know what I mean? And, I win this fight. Next fight is for pay-per-view points, so I'm pretty happy about it.
And let's talk about this fight. Obviously, Israel's the taller guy. I'm a little bit of a short star myself. When you see that, do you try and just find, like, they always say, like, good big guy beats good small guy, but do you look at that and go, no, I see advantages for myself in there?
Definitely. I definitely feel like it's easier for me to get under punches, to get under your hips and take you down if I want to. And, I think I've figured out how to turn my disadvantages into advantages. And on top of that, I mean, I've been fighting taller guys my entire career. I'm the shortest guy in the division. Nothing's changed. I'm fighting taller guys all the time.
Let's talk about resumes as well, because your resume is great. And I think Israel, it's fair to say that the UFC have seen something in him. He's got a bit of an ick factor. They've attached a rocket to his back. Would you agree that your resume is stronger? And actually, he's beaten Anderson, he beat Derek Brunson, but he hasn't fought the best of the best just yet.
I definitely feel that way. He hasn't been through that line of fire that I have, and I said that before. But it is what it is. It's not my decision to pick who's going to fight for the title. This is the organization's job, and my job is just to fight whoever they put in front of me. But ultimately, what I wanted was to fight for a title against anybody, and here I am fighting for the title against Israel.
When you look at those resumes, though, does it not give you a bit of confidence? You say you've been through that fire, he hasn't. So do you sometimes think to yourself, like, I could break this kid?
I definitely feel like it. I definitely feel like I can put him in positions where he's normally not in, put him in bad positions where we haven't seen him yet in the octagon, kind of break out of those tough situations, how to overcome tough situations. We haven't seen him do that, and I definitely feel like I can be the guy that does that.
Is this just, when I analyze this fight, is this just it's like a fight of space? Who controls the distance, controls the fight, right? So you got to just pressure, he's got to keep it. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, definitely. It's pretty obvious. My job is to close that distance.
And that's it's the most generic question in the world, but how do you see the fight ending? Is it decision, or is it a stoppage in there? How do you see it all going?
I just think I'm going to be I'm going to be an overwhelming force for him, and I don't think he's going to know how to handle it.
And then if you're fighting, they obviously want you to fight Whittaker next. You've had 2 back-to-back training camps. Do you want some time off, or are you just like, let's get that title again?
Yeah, man, I definitely want some time off.
Yeah, this must be rough, right? You must be tired.
Well, I am. Like I said, for this fight in February that I was supposed to have, I had the longest, hardest training camp that I've had in my life. And so I was really looking forward to a break then. Even more so now. But typically I'm a guy that likes to stay active. Before I had this long layoff, because I've been waiting on Rob, I had 5 fights in 15 months. So, I'm a guy that likes to stay active. Once I get that break, it's time to get active again.
This is the last one for me, I'm not asking you to talk shit here, but you get signed to fight against Rob. Do you ask for something in the contract to say, hey, if he doesn't make it, it's my title?
It would only make sense to put in that kind of clause in there, yeah.